This is the level of consciousness we all have to strive to reach and strive to achieve, because it's exactly like this says. If you don't know yourself, the system will be more than happy to provide an identity for you. Inward has always been the answer. The circus act all around us, such as TV, your phone, sports, entertainment, all of it is there to keep you focused on anything but becoming who you really are. You see, you've been made out to be a coward. You've been made out to be shy. You've been made out to be insecure. You've been made out to not like who you are and not to feel comfortable in your own skin. Now, some of us are obviously more confident than others. Some of us might do things in our lives that help us with confidence. But even at that, you can be the most confident person and still not know who you are. You might think you know who you are. And listen, I'm not telling you I exactly know who I am or every 100% about myself. That's obviously a lifelong journey that takes experience. And I have a lot more to experience in life. But what I can tell you is I'm about to turn 28 this month. And I really don't know many people in my age bracket that give a shit about truth, that care about actually making change. Even if they know any sort of truth, even if they know something, even if they do, they don't want to do anything about it. And I find that quite offensive, to be honest, because I've been making a video since 2019, putting myself out there, risking my identity, while people sit back, right? You consume what I listen to. You consume you take in the words I say. They probably go in one ear and right out the other. But you see what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, actually. You just don't want to acknowledge what I'm talking about. You see, if you acknowledge what I talked about, that means you have to do some self-introspection. That means you actually, for once in your life, you have to take responsibility for yourself and not allow the government, social media influencers, Hollywood movies, or whoever your idol is, influence you. There's good influences and there's bad influences. And I can definitely make the argument that the vast majority of people you see that are have any sort of influence on people, especially the youth, are not good influences. It's degenerates. It's people who fill your mind up with filth. People who don't actually care about you. People who just want to make a profit off you. People who see you as a number, as data for them to analyze, as data for them to dissect and put you in a certain category. You mean nothing to these celebrities, to these influencers who have millions of followers and subscribers and who get sponsors and advertisements. You see, if you acknowledge what I said, that means you actually have to change yourself. That means you have to stop indulging in certain things. That means you have to live a new life. That means you're going to have to change mentally. You're going to have people look at you differently. You're going to have people make fun of you. You're going to have people, including your own friends and family and people who you think are close to you, your neighbors, your coworkers, your community is going to look at you funny. Can you handle that? Because let me tell you, it's hard to handle that. It's hard to not be accepted for having different beliefs that might, for some, sound crazy or sound insensitive to some. But in reality, what I'm trying to do is help you figure out who you really are. Figure out who you are. You see, I talk about these issues and I talk really in depth about them because this is important. You weren't made to just wake up at 7 a.m. and go to your 9-to-5 job and send marketing emails all day. You weren't meant to do that, and you weren't meant to come home and sit back on your ass, pop a beer, and watch TV until you pass out eating chips. You weren't meant to do that. You weren't meant to just go to the gym and just come home and watch porn until you fall asleep. You weren't meant to just do these things. You have each and every single one of us, male, female, black, white, red, yellow, purple, blue, gay, straight, trans, non-binary, pansexual, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, atheist, whatever your philosophical or political beliefs are. We all have a spiritual purpose. And you know what? We're all getting played by the same people that income tax you, that told you 9/11 was done by Al-Qaeda and Osama bin Laden, that told you COVID was a threat and that you have to lock your kids up and put a mask on them and stand 6 feet away from each other. And if you dare go against this, there's going to be penalties such as you losing your job, such as maybe even you losing custody of kids, such as maybe even jail time or fines, right? Maybe in other countries for not complying with government. You see, government can only do what you allow. And if we collectively allow people to take advantage of us and get into our homes and our families and come into our paychecks, we're asking for slavery. You're asking to be enslaved. We're asking right now to be enslaved. We are ripe for enslavement because, you know what? Your average 28-year-old guy like me, he doesn't care about truth. He cares about who's going to win the Super Bowl. He cares about his sports bets. He cares about the next girl he's going to bang off of Tinder. Okay? Your guys, your young men have been led astray. Your young men have been feminized. Your young women here in America, they don't know what it's like to be a woman. They don't know what it's like to get in touch with their feminine side because all they've been told is to be this masculine type female, right? This loud, proud woman, right? But you know, where are these things getting us, right? With feminism, with red pill, with misogyny, with misandry, where are these things getting us, right? It's destroying us. You see, they have destroyed us from every angle possible. They have came at us through gender, through separating us, through relationships, through marriage, with crazy high divorce rates. They've separated us through politics, which is a very obvious thing. I don't even have to explain that. But they'll even separate people through skin color, through religion, through certain belief systems, because your neighbor down the street, right, voted for a different political party than you, so you view them as the enemy instead of the actual people who perpetrated all these agendas on you that make your life miserable and make your life way more hard than it needs to be. I really hope I'm saying something here that's stimulating some thought because we're in really big trouble. Ever since I've disconnected from the seductions of this world, you can call them, TV, phone, sports, entertainment, whatever it is, you realize that your personality and who you are was shaped by the video games you played in your youth, the movies you watched, people you were around, and especially stuff you see on YouTube as I've gotten older and that stuff became more in the picture and became more popular through YouTubers, through World Wrestling Entertainment. I used to be a really big WWE fan. Through football, through NFL, those guys, I used to love NFL as well. You'll realize that these people all have an agenda. There's an agenda, and everyone pretty much just falls for it. You'll realize that once you break out of these things, you become very alone. Because quite frankly, most people aren't interested in waking up. Because again, if they decide to wake up, that means they have to forget everything they once knew, clear their mind, and try their best to disconnect from what they were taught and learn a new way of living, a new way of thinking, a new way of seeing things. Quite frankly, this is too painful for a lot. And I get it, okay? I understand. I'm not better than you for doing this or knowing this. I understand. It was painful. It still is painful to be looked at a certain way, to be excluded from certain groups or from certain hangouts because people think that, you're some crazy conspiracy theorist, which isn't true. A lot of people who actually know me know I'm a very nice and respectful person. In fact, when we hang out, I don't even want to talk about this stuff most of the time. Like, unless the other person does, sure. But I don't want to talk about these things when I hang out with people. Right? I just want to talk about life. Talk about what, I've been up to, what you've been up to, how things been, what are you struggling with, personal stuff like that. Anyway, I rambled on enough for today. Hope I said something here that'll make you think.